I just want to preface this by saying that I do want babies eventually, just not right now. We're about to make 5 years in August, and personally, I can't wait to be a mom, but I can see that we're just not ready right now. My boyfriend thinks otherwise. 1. We live separately. I live with my parents, and he rents a room in a house. 2. I was unemployed for about a year to focus on school, and I finally started a job about 2 weeks ago. He works but hasn't really been saving up money. He has less than $2,000 in his bank right now. 3. We still fight a lot, and I would like for us to be in a better place in our relationship before having kids. We have grown so much together, but we still have communication problems. To me, these are huge reasons to not have a kid. The biggest issue for me is we have no place together and barely have money. He's telling me he doesn't care about the struggle and still wants a baby regardless. He seems to be convinced that it'll all work out and that we'll get a lot of money from the government for having kids, which is completely untrue and ridiculous. He keeps telling me he doesn't want to be an old parent and that he pushed back years of his life for that decision because of me. Mind you, we've been together since I was 19 and he was 21. His reasoning is that he feels like he's getting older and sees his mom is getting older and really wants her to see his kids and wants our kids to spend lots of time with her, which is super understandable. I'm blessed to have my grandmother still here at 85, and I would love for her to see me have kids as well. It's like every year or so, we have a huge fight about this, and he starts getting upset and making it seem like he's going to move on with someone else. If I don't say yes to this now, I really don't know what to do. I love my boyfriend, and it makes me happy that he wants a family with me, but I feel like it's so irresponsible to bring a baby into this world, knowing we don't have the money for it. I feel like at this point, there's nothing I can do to get him to see my point of view. I personally feel like 24, I turned 25 in DEC, and 26 is still really young, and I really don't see what the rush is. We have no money to get a place in NYC, never traveled or gone on a vacation together, and rarely ever do anything outside of hanging out at his place, all due to money problems. So I just really don't see the logic in getting pregnant right now. Don't we want the best for our babies and not put them in a position where their parents can't afford to live? I told him instead of the goal being for me to get pregnant, it should first be working on ourselves, working towards saving money for a place. Then when we have that, we can think about babies. I'm afraid of losing my boyfriend. He isn't talking to me right now. I don't think I can make a decision like that just to keep him. Can anyone give me some guidance on this? Update. I'm pretty sure he's dumping me over this. He's saying that he doesn't want to be with me anymore. I'm holding him back. And that he's trying to make moves to be an adult, and I'm not. Saying that I just want to stay with my parents and don't want to move forward in life. I don't think he's understanding anything that I'm saying to him. I do want to move out and move forward with my life. We literally don't have the money for it. He also basically said that he talks about me to his mom and that she says the same things about me. Don't know if that's true, and that it's an issue that I'm not close to her family. That part is true, but honestly, I'm just an introvert, and I don't feel like I fit in. Honestly, my family doesn't like him either, but I never let that affect our relationship. Nor do I badmouth him to my family. I feel like everyone's parents never think someone is good enough for their daughter or son, but it is what it is. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You've already answered your own question here, so you know what to do. Your boyfriend sounds completely immature and idiotic. He won't be the one left holding this baby if things don't work out. If he can't get his head around you wanting to have a safe and secure space together before having a baby, then I'm not sure he'll ever get it. It's not a toy you can send back. It's 18 years of responsibility and putting that kid before yourself. He just sounds far too selfish and immature to understand it. I'd be rethinking the whole thing in your shoes. Comment 2. This guy isn't the one. In 5 years, he's only saved $2,000. He's pressuring you to do something you aren't ready for. He can't even afford his own apartment. Plus, I don't see him buying a ring and proposing. You sound responsible and level-headed, and you know now is not the time for a baby. Listen to yourself. You've grown and matured in the past 5 years, and he hasn't grown with you. He can sense this, and he's trying to lock you down with a baby. Be careful. Now, for the update. Thanks for sticking around. So, he did it. He actually packed his bags and left. Said he needed space to think, but we both knew it was more than that. He moved in with a buddy who, by the way, always told him he should live a little, as if our relationship was a chain around his ankle. I was gutted, but part of me thought this might be the wake-up call he needed. A week into his freedom, he got into some trouble, big trouble. His friend's idea of living a little involved in a late-night bar fight that landed them both in jail. I found out through a mutual friend who thought I should know. My heart sank. I bailed him out against my better judgment. He was ashamed, kept saying how he never should have put himself in that situation, how he missed me. It was a mess, but did he come back? No. He said he needed to sort himself out first. I didn't understand. We were supposed to sort things out together. That's what a relationship is, right? Instead, he started working extra shifts, trying to prove he could save money and be responsible. I guess the scare straightened him out a bit, but it didn't bring him back home. Then his mom got sick, hospital sick. It hit him like a ton of bricks. He was there every day, all day. I'd visit, trying to be supportive, but it was clear he was in his own world of pain. His mom, the one person he wanted his kids to know, was slipping away. It was heartbreaking to watch. He became softer, more reflective. I thought maybe this was the moment everything would change. But life has a cruel sense of humor. His mom pulled through, thank God, but the experience didn't bring us closer. Instead, he became obsessed with the idea that life is short. He started talking about kids again, about not wasting any more time. It was like he forgot all the reasons we decided to wait. He forgot the bar fight, the jail, the fear in his eyes when he realized he could have ruined everything. He started looking at apartments, ones we couldn't afford. He found a second job, said we could make it work. I admired his determination, but it was like watching someone trying to fill a leaking bucket. He wouldn't listen, said I was being negative, that I didn't believe in us. It wasn't about belief, it was about being realistic. And then, the news. He told me he was considering having a baby with or without me. Said he'd find someone who shared his urgency. It was a slap in the face. After everything, he was willing to throw us away. For a hypothetical child with a hypothetical someone else. I was furious, hurt, and confused all at once. I should have walked away then, but I couldn't. I loved him despite it all. So I stayed, hoping he'd come to his senses. Hoping he'd see that love isn't about ultimatums or rushing into life-changing decisions. Now he's talking to me again, but it's not the same. We're like actors in a play that's gone on too long, reciting lines we don't believe in. I'm holding on to the hope that he'll realize we can have it all, just not all at once. But deep down, I know I'm fooling myself. Thanks for reading. Am I the idiot for confronting my boyfriend about his gambling with our savings? After he mocked my job, my boyfriend has recently gotten a job after 6 months of unemployment. He had issues with his visa that needed to be ironed out before starting the job, and the process took way longer than expected. It was very stressful being the sole earner, as I don't make a ton of money, and we had also moved into an apartment with very little furniture, so we had to make a lot of purchases for it. It was a lot to take on, but I never complained or made him feel badly about it, because I knew it wasn't his fault, and that the situation was out of our control and would be resolved eventually. Anyway, he finally started his job about 3 weeks ago, and I'm so relieved knowing that this period of extreme financial stress is finally going to start easing up a bit. When he came home after his very first day, he made a petty little remark about how easy I have it, because I get to work from home 3 days a week. Obviously, I'm not trying to say that that's not a huge benefit, but his job also comes with perks that mine doesn't. A 4-day work week being one of them. I didn't really think anything of it at first. He's making comments like this every day now. When he was unemployed, he made dinner most nights, and I did the wash-up. Now he will not cook dinner or clean because he works too hard. He'll make himself breakfast and a packed lunch to take to work, but he'll leave the dirty dishes in the sink for me to deal with. I've asked him to at least put them in the dishwasher, and he said that it doesn't make a difference to do that. I did 3 hours of housework chores after work yesterday, and when I told him how tired I was after it, he just shrugged and said, "I'm at home all day, so it's easier for me to do them." He's also started undermining my job, which is in a field I'm really passionate about. He used to really praise the work I do, but now he's making nasty little comments about how trivial the work is. I just feel like it's so mean-spirited and unfair. But when I bring it up, he just says, "What? You seriously think you're out here changing the world or something?" I can't say anything about feeling tired or stressed out, because he'll just respond with, "Oh yeah? You think you have it tough? Here's everything I have to deal with at my job that you don't have to." It's so unnecessary because I never once told him that his job wasn't also stressful or tiring. But he desperately wants me to admit that my job is so much easier than his. His dad did the exact same thing to his mom. She was a school teacher, he was an electrician. He would always undermine her, tell her that she was just a glorified babysitter with too much vacation time, and that she wouldn't know real canny work if it hit her in the face. Meanwhile, he refused to even feed the family dog because it was too much trouble for him. I don't know what to do. This attitude has really come out of nowhere. He tries to play it off as a joke, but I know he means it. It's just so disheartening because he's expecting me to defend myself in a debate I never wanted to take part in. Why can't we just agree that work just kind of sucks? It has me second-guessing myself. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. His dad did the exact same thing to his mom. Welcome to the dynamic he is setting up to be the rest of your life. Sit down and have a direct conversation about this dynamic and how it makes you feel. Either he changes or you need to reevaluate if this is what you want to settle for moving forward. Comment 2. My easy job paid your bills for 6 months. You need to get over whatever problem you're having lately before I get over this relationship. Don't marry this dude. He's going to treat you exactly the way his dad treated his mom. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around. A lot has happened since my last post. So my boyfriend's new job seemed like a blessing, but it's turned into something else. He's been acting like he's the only one who's got it tough. And then, out of nowhere, his sister, who I've always gotten along with, drops the news. She tells me she saw him out with another woman. My heart sank. I confronted him and he denied it, said his sister was just stirring up trouble. But the seed of doubt was planted. I wanted to believe him, but things just got weirder. He started coming home late, always with some excuse about work. But then, I found a receipt for a fancy restaurant in his jacket pocket. The date on it was the day he said he'd been working late. I didn't know what to think. I felt like I was losing my mind. His behavior at home didn't get any better either. He kept leaving messes everywhere, acting like I was his personal maid. It was like he was trying to push me to my breaking point. And then, one evening, I snapped. I told him I knew about the restaurant, and he just laughed. Said it was a work thing and I was being paranoid. But the way he said it, I could tell he was lying. I was so angry, I called his sister to confront her about why she'd told me. That's when she confessed. She hadn't seen him with another woman. She was just trying to get back at him for an old grudge. I was floored. I didn't know who to trust anymore. But it didn't stop there. The next day, I got a call from the bank. There were charges on our joint account that I didn't recognize. Big charges. It turned out he'd been spending our savings on gambling. I couldn't believe it. All the stress of being the only one working for so long. And he was throwing our money away like it was nothing. I confronted him again, and this time, he couldn't deny it. He broke down, said he'd started gambling to relieve the stress of his new job, and it got out of hand. He promised he'd stop, that he'd get help. I wanted to believe him, but I felt like I was trapped in a cycle I couldn't escape. His dad had a gambling problem too. It was like history was repeating itself right in front of my eyes. His mom had put up with it, and now here I was, doing the same thing. I felt so ashamed, like I should have seen the signs earlier. We're still together, and he's promised to change. He's even started doing the dishes again, and he's been nicer about my job. But I can't shake the feeling that I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like I'm stuck in this toxic situation, and I don't even know how to get out, or if I even want to. I guess I'm just hoping things will get better on their own. But deep down, I know that's not how it works. I just don't have the energy to face the truth right now. Thanks for reading. Am I the idiot for calling out my husband and sister? For mocking my cat's weight gain? My cat isn't fat, objectively. She has terminal cancer and lost a lot of weight. And per the vet's recommendation, we feed her lactose-free heavy cream and a lot of treats to keep her from starving. She has gained a little weight again, but she now weighs about 4.5 kilograms, which according to the vet is still too little for her size. She would healthily have about 6 kilograms. I have commented to my husband that she's gained a few pounds, which led him to constantly call her fatty, fat butt, horse butt, fatty catty, and so on. I have told him to stop, that she isn't fat, and that I don't want him to say these things. He says she doesn't understand it anyways, which might be true, but I think she understands the tone in which he says it. She does pick up on tones easily and won't stop. I know that it isn't just the issue of him calling her fat that makes me angry. I have had some serious issues with my weight over the years. Family troubles, peer pressure, and undetected illnesses have caused me to become anorexic, then overweight. And now I'm still on the verge of being overweight, but constantly losing some weight. I am still very sensitive about it. And the things he says about my cat are exactly the things my father used to call me, regardless of my actual size. He would tell me I'm overweight, I have a butt like a horse, all those things. So hearing them from my husband, who knows all about this, hurts a lot. I don't know how to explain to him that I need him to stop. He just laughs when I bring it up. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You need to discuss this with him the way you presented it here. It's not about the cat, it's about the words he uses. He's probably right that the cat doesn't know what he's saying, so give him that, but make it clear that you know what he's saying and it's hurtful to you. Make it clear that those words led you to disordered eating, and that is a lifelong struggle that he's currently making worse. Comment 2. I think she understands the tone in which he says it. She does pick up on tones easily, while that's somewhat true. A cat is simply not going to pick up on the nuances of something like fat shaming. Cats can pick up on whether a tone is angry or not. That's about it. So unless his comments are uttered amidst an angry tirade, you're being completely ridiculous. Now for the update, thanks for sticking around. So here's what went down. The other day, I caught my husband on the phone whispering like he was sharing government secrets. I didn't think much of it until I heard my name. Curiosity got the better of me, and I listened. He was talking to my sister, of all people, and they were laughing about how I overreact to everything, including the cat situation. I felt my heart sink. My sister, who I confided in about my struggles, was betraying me. I confronted her the next day. She tried to brush it off, saying it was just a joke, but I wasn't having it. I told her how much it hurt, how it felt like a knife in the back. She apologized, but it was one of those sorry you're upset apologies, not a real one. I was fuming, but I kept it together. I needed a plan. I decided to give my husband a taste of his own medicine. I started calling him out on every little flaw, in the same tone he used with the cat. At first, he laughed it off, but then he started to get annoyed. He asked me to stop, but I just shrugged and said, "You don't understand it anyway." It was petty, I know, but I needed him to feel what I felt. It all came to a head when we were at a family dinner. My husband made a snide remark about the cat, and my sister snickered. That's when I let it all out. I told everyone about their little phone calls, about how they mocked me. There was silence, then chaos. My mom was furious at both of them. My dad was trying to calm everyone down, and my husband and sister were on the defensive. In the end, my husband came to me, genuinely remorseful. He admitted he was wrong and promised to change. My sister, on the other hand, stayed quiet. She avoided me for the rest of the evening. I didn't care. I had made my point. Things have been tense since then, but there's been a shift. My husband hasn't made a single comment about the cat or my weight. He's been more considerate, more kind. It's like he finally understands. As for my sister, we're not on speaking terms right now, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes you have to cut out the negativity, even if it's family. Thanks for reading. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.